what I want to demo, so we have this like Summer of Agents project, and that's where like Dylan and Joel and Nick are helping us with all these agent examples that you see. And so one of them I took off the list this morning since it's Agent Friday, and it was a coding agent. So can you make a coding agent work in Agentuity where it's in the cloud, but it works locally? So that was my challenge this morning. I'm excited about it. So I'm just going to wax eloquent and talk about it. So one of the actually, you know what? Let me just share my screen. I'm going to draw, and it's going to be the worst drawing you've ever seen in your life, but I don't care.
Oh my gosh, you're going to do a Theo drawing?
Oh my
Please tell
goodness.
me you're using Excel draw. Please use Excel draw.
No, I'm not going to do
Theo's
that.
going to be so happy.
Oh, PLD draw, bro.
But I thought TL draw, it's all AI. There you go. That's it right there. That's
how do yeah, that's exactly it. What do I do here?
That's what he's building right there. Can't you tell?
Oh,
God, that's awful.
Is it beautiful?
Like your child drew that or what?
Everybody go away. All right. Pretend this square is your local computer. Pretend this square is the agent running in the cloud. So for a coding agent, it needs to do tool calls, right? It has to do grep and modify the file and then do a get diff. The agent can't do this over here in the cloud, right? So what you have to do is you have to have a client here, which in my demo, I'm going to show you in a minute, is a CLI client. And so that client talks to our agent, right? So then the agent, so I'll show you in a minute, but I'll say, hey, write me FizzBuzz test, 10 iterations or whatever. Actually, that's probably what I'll do. And then, so then it hits the agent goes and talks to the LLM, right? And then the tool calls start coming in. So now there's like tool calls. So Claude's, let's see, we use Claude. Oh, we need to find the files and do this and create the thing. This agent can't do that, right? Because it's not on the file system. So what I do is I have this tool call proxy. It's what I've created. I feel like there's a cool name for this. You know how in functional programming it's called continuation something pattern. I don't remember what it's called. It's continuation. It's like where you pass a function into another function and that passes those functions into another whatever. That's called continuation in functional programming. By the way, I'm not advocating for functional programming, but that is a pattern. So it's like almost there's this tool called continuation, but it's like distributed continuation. So it's okay. Hey, this LLM call goes, hey, I need to make a tool call. I don't have the tools. So what I do is I pass the tool call back. I stream it back to your CLI client. The CLI client then executes, create the file, and then it takes the results, streams it right back. And then it continues. The agent continues on with what it was supposed to do. Hey, I made the tool call. So you almost like fibbing to the LLM. Hey, the tool call's done and here's the result. Even though it wasn't done in the execution runtime, it was done outside of it. And it works. It actually works really well in Agentuity, and it's not that hard. All right. Are you with me so far before I keep going? Yes? No? Joke stories, candidates. All right. So let's show the CLI. So let me demo it first. You actually can run bun install and it'll install a CLI, and it's called Coder. And you can run like Coder local or whatever. There's a bunch of things you can do. Actually, this is cool. You can run setup on the first setup. This will all be in the GitHub repo, and it'll actually install a configuration file. You can tell where you want to point, local or remote, all this other stuff. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to kill this right now. All right. So let's do run CLI.js, and then it's -- local. I'm just going to run it. Oh, let's make sure H2 is running. Okay, good. All right. So here's the coder. It's like a Claude code, right? Or Codex. And so here you can do things. Remind me if I forget, guys, there's this /context. I want to talk about that because that's really cool. But I can be like, write me a test for FizzBuzz up to 10 iterations. And so then it'll do your coding agent thing like you're used to. So again, it's calling over to the agent. The agent's like hitting the LLM. It's getting the tool call. It's coming back. And I don't know why it hasn't responded yet. Oh no, demos. Oh, there it is. I'll create a proper test file. Oh, it's a British agent. A proper test file. So you'll see it's like requesting the tool execution, right file. So that's in the cloud, right? But then it sends it back to the CLI, and then it actually does it. So there, now you can see it's creating the thing. There you go. And and by the way, the execution there, I got to fix the ugly thing there. This is, I got to not fix. I just need to make that prettier. But you notice right here, it says running FizzBuzz tests, and it's test 1 pass. All this is passed. That's because we actually use, is it RZA or Rizzo? How do we call it? We met them last week in RZA. We met them last week in the AI Engineer World's Fair. So I hooked up an execution sandbox as well. You don't have to do it, but if it's code that can be executed, we pass it off of that and execute it. And you can see it's there, which is pretty cool. Let me actually kill this and then let me open it up. I'll show you the files and stuff. So there's our test right there. So it created this file. It created this little fizz buzz. And then there's the test. So it actually executed this in RZA, which is cool. But it created it again, remote cloud agent created this locally on my computer. All right. So now if you're with me, quick little demo of the code. Again, this will be an example in our repo that people can just clone and make their own. They'll have their own cloud coder thing. Tools, of course, we have in the system prompt. So this is continuation request. That's important because as you're talking to the agent, needs to know, hey, is this a continuation of a tool call that was just invoked and I had to pass it to the client? Is it or not? So we have to check that out. Of course, I keep track of the session ID in our key value store because that's important. And there you can see, is it continuation or not? And let's see, anything more important? Oh, I didn't talk about the context. So this part here, let me run this again. This context, let's see if it works. So I actually keep track of everything you're doing and you can say, hey, I'm working on authentication now. And so it'll take that whole session and go, hey, this has to do with authentication. So you can be like, hey, I want to continue on authentication again, even if you switch to something else. It actually tells you, here's what you did last. Really cool. You created this fizz buzz. And it's okay if you want to remember what I'm working on, and it'll remember it in the key value storage, which is pretty cool. So that's something I don't think I've seen people do in these coding agents yet, but that's what that context does. So that's pretty useful. So the key thing here, remember I talked about the tools and how they're mocked out. I'm literally creating mocked out tool calls. See how the function is just like tool captured? So we're passing just the name of the tool back to the CLI, and the CLI then goes and executes it. So it's just completely mocked out. So we're fooling the LLM. So it's invoking it. And then we're taking that and passing it to the CLI.
How do you, I see. So the LLM basically sends that back to you and then you know to then basically go back to the client.
Exactly. Yeah. We stream that tool call back to it. And then the CLI has a continuation handler and goes, oh, I'm continuing something. Let me take that and run with it. Which is cool. Which if you go to the CLI, which is the client, that's where you get your input and all the typical CLI handle. I think I'm using Commander Inquiry with this. So in here, you'll see, where's my, I think I passed it. The font is so big on my screen. Here it is.
Continuation handle right there.
Yeah, there it is right there. So we're getting it and we're like, hey, what's the results? And then we're streaming it back and forth, but it works pretty well. Pretty cool. All right. That's pretty much the demo. I think, again, like there's all sorts of, you can run, you don't have to run in interactive mode. You can just put quotes and go, what can you do? And it'll just like one time off running thing too as well. So it'll do stuff like that. And can't wait to release that. And then everybody will have their own coding agent in the cloud or locally, however they want to do it. And that's